Hello, bootlicker, shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks, YouTubers, friends, compatriots. I'm useful idiot. Welcome, and let's go back to the USA. And I'm doing, I think, third in a series of videos that kind of highlight numbers and different ways that numbers are used in all these different stories. So not only are the stories themselves of interest, but the fact that they're all using numbers for a certain effect, or these numbers have a certain effect, and so therefore that is the theme. And a lot of these numbers I'm talking about are just interesting in the fact that they're so large. In this case, it's going to be speculating on what the real number of police shootings of citizens in the U.S. is yearly. I think the established number right now is 1,000 a year. And while I bring that up, I want to bring up the factoid that came out recently that in the month of March, last month, 2015, the United States police killed more people in 1 month than the UK police killed in the entire 20th century. A very interesting factoid indeed. So the common number, especially now that we have citizens watching police killings and just police actions in general, we're now getting a better picture of how many people are killed by cops every year. And before it was difficult because the police reported it, and the figures were obstructed. FBI and other agencies kind of obstruct the numbers, and also it's a voluntary system, so police departments can give in whatever numbers they want or not, and they can also have different methodologies for who they count as an official justifiable homicide of a suspect. And let's talk about the methodology a little bit first, because to be included in the official numbers, the case must involve, quote, a justifiable homicide of a felon by a law enforcement while on duty, unquote. So, of course, that eliminates a lot of fatalities that are done by off-duty police, police just recently off-duty, as well as domestic violence cases, and also the fact that it has to be a felon. So that eliminates an entire category, particularly used in poor communities, of people who are executed in committing a misdemeanor or no crime at all. And let's remember that things like a chokehold for a misdemeanor would not be counted in this. But that's, that spreads out the different ways that police kill citizens too, which is also not going to be counted in shootings. So if we have 1,000 shootings a year, it doesn't count the fact that for example, someone is strangled in a chokehold, or a recent story I'll attach below of a man being mauled to death by a police dog. So there's a lot of problems with the methodology, and also if it's somebody who's shot by mistake, for example, the guy with the air gun wanting to purchase an air gun at Walmart, and he's shot by the police. Well, he wasn't committing a felon, so he's not counted. So the plethora of police shootings we see of people who are unarmed and are not committing any kind of felon or are charged with anything necessarily are not counted in these figures. And then when you couple that with the fact that you have classes of society that barely count and they're barely documented. Recently was reading about a UK phenomenon where the police apparently call an incident no human involvement, NHI. So when it's drug dealers and pimps and prostitutes and people who operate in that level of society, they barely even care about documenting them, whether they're murdered or whether they're even executed by police. So this gives a lot of moral hazard for police out going going into these dens of vice, I guess you'd call them, and being out there in that world, and how easy it would be to find yourself justified in killing a lot of people at that level of society and not having to really answer for it or account for it. Certainly police barely have to account for a lot of activities they have now, particularly when they know they have impunity. And so, certainly there are incidents of police being shot at as well. 126 police officers were killed in 2014 compared to 1,000 citizens killed by police. And there's a Department of Justice report that just came out and said that the police in Philadelphia shot over 400 people in 7 years. So once again, you see a report like that and you think, one city, if in one city 400 people were shot by the police in 7 years, and extrapolate that over all the major cities across America, then the numbers we're getting about how many people are being killed and shot by the police every year have to be extremely low. And in fact, let's get to this comment. I'll attach the article below, and I think it's the article that has this comment attached that used some simple math to present a very different picture of how many people are shot by the police, shot and killed in the United States every year. And I thought the methodology was so simple and so sound that I'm going to bring it up here. And so the FBI stats of 461 people killed by the police in 2013 represented only 7.5% of police departments' voluntary reporting. And so you tie that in with the previous story I talked about, Department of Justice report where they said 400 people were shot by the police in Philadelphia in 7 years. And granted, you spread that out, it averages out to 80 in that city, and you couple it with this FBI stat, and only 7.5% of police departments voluntarily reporting. So if you extrapolate that, if only 7.5% are reporting and they came up with 461, and you extrapolate that out, you come up with 6,146 people killed every year in the United States. And I have no way of confirming that, and I certainly have a predisposition to assume that the numbers are low, because that's how numbers are used by statist agencies and corporations. And therefore, why would it be any different in this situation? And then couple that with just the awareness of watching the police shootings unfold out there. We have to imagine that for every one that we see documented, for every one we see, there could very easily be 2, 3, 4, 5 others for every one we see. That doesn't seem implausible to me at all. So to think of a number like 6,146 people killed every year seems like a more likely number, and it could be a little lower than that. It could be a little higher than that. But I think factoring in everything I've discussed here, for me, it's a fairly convincing argument that the numbers we're getting are substantially lower than the reality out there. And if a higher number helps people be even more shocked by what's going on out there, then I want a higher number to be published. I don't necessarily want a higher number to occur. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.